When I met Officer Stephen, he sent me back to the shelter, and it was in downtown. I just spent 1 week in that shelter. It was really tough for me in there because there was a lot of using drugs people. They were coming at midnight, 2 o'clock, and disturbing you. We were sleeping 8 people in one room.
When I came to Canada, the shelter that they took me to, it was even more scary as compared to like my native hometown.
I don't know who can forget one day, like after 3 days of sleeping at the airport, forgetting that one day someone saved me.
I was new in this country. I didn't know people. It was really tough for me. I feel like if this is Canada, why I should come to Canada.
Years ago, I met a refugee, and I never would have guessed that that one encounter would have been made such a difference in my whole life, but that encounter did end up directing the rest of my future. After dinner, he opened up and he started sharing his whole life story. And what really struck me was not so much it was a horrible story that he described of fleeing for his life and a brother and sister dying of starvation en route and everything. But the shocking part of his story was that when he described his first few weeks and months in Canada, he described that time as the most difficult, most painful part of his whole journey. And the primary reason was that nobody truly welcomed him. When I heard him describe that, it just broke my heart. I thought, there's something wrong here. We should be, here we are, Canada, why aren't we being more welcoming? And I just thought, I want to do something about this. So I approached some of my church leaders and asked what we could do about refugees, and they said, don't know, got any suggestions? And I said, yes, we could open up a home for refugees. And that's how the vision began. And finally, in the summer of 1998, we opened on Dundas Street West.
The moment I entered the house, it's not that I want to break or something. I felt the dignity being restored. I felt that I am a person amongst persons. And I felt the love. The atmosphere was filled of love. Because I remember when I entered the house, I was like, this is not a shelter, this is a home.
Although it's called a shelter, the first thing I say to people is it's not a shelter, it's a house, it's a home. But it's a support community too. It's not just what happens in this house. There's 3 houses, there's Matthew House Club, and there's really a whole network of support for people who are not only residents and staff of Matthew House, but former residents who are coming back and volunteering and helping newly arrived people figure their way out and find a community in Toronto and a place to live and a job. And it's great to see that.
I didn't expect that there will be like this, like family, and I was so excited when I saw them, and they were very good to me.
Matthew House receives very, very little direct government support. We primarily exist because of the support of individuals, churches, foundations, and just people who care about the plight of refugees.
I think Matthew House have a legacy by itself, not by their deeds, but even the name itself. It's a bigger name. Like, I think Matthew House have given homes to homeless. Honestly, I don't know who can forget that.
I can say it is my house, this is my family, and this is my friend. Matthew House gave me the hope to live and then to be by myself.
I feel like when I was there, like my house.
It was really good. Matthew House, I love it.
You know, the name Matthew House comes from the passage where Jesus says, I was a stranger and you welcomed me. I was hungry and you fed me. Whatever you did to the least of these, you've done it to me. And I just think we want people to feel like they're really important, they're really deeply valued. And I guess my heart's desire is that more and more people in the world would overcome their fears and reach out and welcome the stranger. And that more and more refugees would find hope at the end of their journey on the refugee highway.